Virginia Anderson. In my books, I'm V.S. Anderson. Susan was my grandmother's name. I write horse mysteries, and I'm here today to talk a little bit about my book, King of the Roses, and how it came to be. In a book I'm working on right now, my hero, Misty, says, I hear a lot about kids running away to the circus, but I ran away to the horse show. I could have said the same thing because that was kind of what I did. And like Misty, I found my first port of call at the racetrack. For a little girl growing up without her own horse, those 3 televised Triple Crown races every spring where all the holidays rolled into one. At 12, I could recite all the Derby winners from Aristides all the way on. In 1964, I badgered my parents into taking me to the Derby. I stood on the arms of a lawn chair at the infield fence and watched the riders' caps go by over people's heads. That was about all I could see as the great northern dancer nosed out hill rise. I got my first teaching job in Tampa, Florida, and I discovered that if I got up at the crack of dawn and drove like a fiend, I could spend the afternoon, my days off, at Hialeah or Gulfstream. And I soon made the acquaintance of Tampa Bay Downs, a small track near Tampa where I could moonlight, walking huts, cleaning stalls, galloping a little. I discovered that at the end of every meet, I could find a trainer who wanted just a little getaway money for a horse that maybe had a little bit of a soundness problem or a case of the terminal slows. And with a little TLC, I could turn those racetrack rejects into pretty nice horses. Eventually, what I learned at those big tracks and that small one rubbed shoulders with my first love as a reader, mysteries. I liked Nancy Drew, gave way to Sherlock Holmes. I liked Dorothy Sayers. I liked a writer named Josephine Tay who wrote a great horse mystery called Brat Farah that you might want to check out. And of course, I also found myself immersed in Dick Francis. As I watched Dick Francis's rider heroes face all the challenges and negotiate their way through this fiercely competitive sport, where not everybody played by the rules, I started thinking about all the different challenges that the riders particularly faced, and the temptations that they often faced. And, I started to think about, suppose that you had a hero for your book who was fiercely protective of his reputation for honesty, and you put him in a position where he faced a daunting test. And that's how Chris England, King of the Roses, came to be. Chris is many times a champion. He's in the last years of his career, and he finds himself on a 2-to-1 shot for the Kentucky Derby and a chance to win a record 6th Derby as a rider. And then somebody offers him $500,000 to throw the race. And they tell him, you throw it or you die. What do we think he should do? Well, obviously, he should ride to win, run the villains down, set everything to rights. But what if riding to win would destroy a magnificent horse? Like almost all my heroes in my books, Chris has to step back and take a good close look at himself, at who he thinks he is, who he really is, and who he wants to be. Readers who have enjoyed my fast-paced and sometimes dark mysteries have complimented them on their authenticity. I've had a reader tell me, it's great to find someone who really knows what the horse world is like. I didn't have to imagine what it was like to gallop a racehorse for the first time, or to come down to a jump on a really bad stride. I've been there. In addition to my years moonlighting on the racetrack, I've taught riding and ridden hunters all my adult life. And these aspects, these different ways of looking at the sport, have given me a lot of different stories that I could tell about it, always with a great horse at heart. I'm not riding as much now. My precious friend of 15 years, Patty, has his own mission. He has to keep a field mode in his retirement. He doesn't do a very good job. The grass just keeps on coming up, but he tells me, Mom, I'm not getting paid by the bale. I'm deep in my 4th horse mystery now, and I'm also writing a serial that doesn't have horses in it, but it has some good mystery of its own. I'm a slow writer. It takes me a long time to find my characters, And I do want to know kind of what makes them tick, but I also want to know how they faced this amazing sport, this incredibly difficult, challenging sport that we're all engaged in with horses, and all the amazing horses that we're surrounded by, horses that sometimes need our protection as much as our love. If you enjoy King of the Roses, I hope that you will come and check out my website, virginiasanderson.com, and check out my other horse mysteries. I don't get to talk about my books as much as I'd like to, so it's been a great privilege and pleasure to talk tonight, and I hope that you will visit my website, and I hope that I'll hear from you. Thank you.